Welcome to the shadows of a case that defies logic. In the winter of 1984, a man named Arthur Penhaligon walked into the Grand Alpine Hotel, signed the ledger with a steady hand, and retreated to room 402. He was never seen again. No exit footage, no witness accounts, and no body. Tonight, we peel back the wallpaper of time to uncover a mystery that the authorities tried to bury for 4 decades. Arthur wasn't a man of mystery, at least, not on paper. A clockmaker from a small town, he had no criminal record and no enemies. He arrived with a single leather suitcase and a look of deep exhaustion. He told the receptionist he just needed one night of absolute silence. Little did she know that silence would last for the next 40 years, echoing through the halls of the Grand Alpine. The next morning, housekeeping knocked. No answer. By noon, the manager used the master key. The room was pristine, the bed was made, the suitcase was gone, and the window was locked from the inside 4 stories up with no fire escape. It was as if Arthur Penhaligon had simply evaporated into the cold mountain air. The police were baffled, but the true nightmare was only just beginning. Initial investigations yielded nothing. No fingerprints, other than Arthur's, were found. No signs of a struggle. The police checked the basement, the roof, and even the laundry chutes. Arthur's car remained parked in the lot, covered in a fresh layer of snow. He had disappeared from a locked room in a building filled with people, leaving behind only the faint scent of cedarwood and old paper. Detectives expanded their search. They combed the surrounding woods, interviewed his family, and looked into his finances. Arthur had recently withdrawn a large sum of money, but the cash was never found. Was it a planned disappearance? Or had he encountered something or someone within those walls that left no trace behind? The case quickly went cold, becoming a local legend whispered by hotel staff. Fast forward to last year, the Grand Alpine was scheduled for demolition. As construction crews began tearing down the walls of the 4th floor, they made a discovery that sent chills down their spines. Behind the heavy oak closet in room 402, there wasn't a brick wall. There was a narrow, hidden passage, barely wide enough for a man, leading deep into the building's structural core. The passage didn't lead to a secret exit. It led to a small, windowless chamber located between the walls of room 402 and the adjacent service elevator. Inside, investigators found a small wooden chair, a stack of letters dated from the 1940s, and a single, rusted pocket watch. But there was no sign of Arthur. Instead, they found something far more disturbing etched into the wood of the chair. The carving was fresh, or at least, it looked fresh. The letters were, "He is watching." DNA testing on the chair revealed traces of blood, but it didn't belong to Arthur Penhaligon. It belonged to a man who had gone missing from the same hotel in 1942. Suddenly, the disappearance of a clockmaker in 1984 was linked to a string of vanishings, spanning nearly a century. As historians and detectives teamed up, a pattern emerged. Every 20 years, a guest would check into the Grand Alpine and never check out. The hotel had been built by a reclusive architect with a fascination for impossible spaces. It seemed the building itself was designed to hide people, or perhaps to consume them. But who was the architect, and what was his true intention? Elias Thorne, the man behind the Grand Alpine, was obsessed with the concept of a 4th dimension within architecture. He believed that by arranging rooms in specific geometric patterns, one could create a fold in reality. Thorne disappeared himself in 1950, leaving behind a series of coded journals that suggested the hotel wasn't just a business, it was an experiment in human isolation. In Thorne's journals, room 402 was referred to as the anchor, He wrote that those who entered the room with a heavy heart would find the door they were truly looking for. Arthur Penhaligon had recently lost his wife and was struggling with deep depression. Did he find a secret door in the hotel, or did the hotel find a secret door in him? The psychological tension of the case began to outweigh the physical evidence. Imagine the silence of that night. Arthur, alone with his grief, perhaps hearing a faint tapping from behind the wall. Did he discover the hidden passage and enter it willingly? If so, why was his suitcase never found in the chamber? The investigators began to suspect that the chamber found by the demolition crew was only the first layer of a much larger, darker labyrinth. Using ground-penetrating radar, the team scanned the rest of the building. They found dozens of these voids, spaces that didn't appear on any official blueprints. These were liminal spaces, designed to be invisible to the casual observer. It was a playground for a predator, or a sanctuary for the lost. But the radar also picked up something else, something moving deep within the foundations. The motion wasn't a person, it was a shift in the building's settling, or was it? Rumors among the demolition crew began to circulate about a grey man seen wandering the site at night. Could someone have been living within the walls of the Grand Alpine for decades, moving through the hidden passages like a ghost? This theory changed the investigation from a missing person case to a hunt for a squatter. If someone was living in the walls, they were a master of evasion. No food waste was ever found. No signs of daily life, just the carvings and the letters. The letters found in the chamber were addressed to the caretaker, thanking him for the peace and the silence. The dates on the letters spanned from 1945 to 2010. Someone had been receiving mail inside a wall for 65 years. The pocket watch found in the chamber was identified. It didn't belong to the 1942 victim. It belonged to Arthur Penhaligon, but the watch was rusted as if it had been underwater for years, even though the chamber was bone dry. This physical anomaly threw the forensic team into a spiral. How could an object age 50 years in the span of a few decades in a controlled environment? Some theorists suggest that Elias Thorne succeeded that the Grand Alpine was a gateway to a place where time behaved differently. While this sounds like science fiction, the evidence of Arthur's watch remains unexplained. Could Arthur still be there in some sense? Or was he simply a victim of a very human, very clever killer who used the building's unique architecture to hide his crimes? The Grand Alpine was finally brought down last month. As the dust settled, the site was meticulously searched. No remains were ever found. No secret bunkers. No hidden tunnels leading out. The secret of room 402 was crushed under tons of concrete and steel. Arthur Penhaligon, the 1942 victim, and the mysterious caretaker were all seemingly erased from the physical world. Today, the lot remains empty. Locals say the air there feels thin, and dogs refuse to walk across the footprint of the old building. The case of Arthur Penhaligon remains officially unsolved, a permanent missing file in the precinct's archives. It serves as a haunting reminder that sometimes the places we build to protect us can become the very things that make us disappear. What do you think happened in room 402? Was it a masterfully planned disappearance, a hidden serial killer, or something far beyond our understanding of reality? Let us know your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the unknown, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories from the dark side of history. I'm your host, and this is the end of the hall.